Good evening, guys. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey, Adam G, your online Queenspirational talk show. As you all know, I'm still here in Los Angeles for my Mr. Supranational USA 2022 coverage, and I am just so happy that the inaugural show was a success last weekend, having crowned someone who has so much depth and substance for an inaugural winner. So I can't wait to get to know the newly crowned Mr. Supranational USA 2022 title holder. Here he is, fresh from his win last weekend. Please say hello to Mr. Supranational USA 2022, Keith Williams from New Jersey.
Hey everyone, what's up? Thanks for having me today, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you first of all, thank you so much for the time and effort in granting me this interview,
Yes,
Keith.
yes, for sure.
So I really appreciate it. So thank you so much. So how do you feel now? Has it sunk in the end that you just won a very prestigious title last weekend?
It feels amazing. I've prepared myself so much the day that I received the phone call, from my physical fitness to anything I can possibly prepare myself for. I didn't really quite know what I was getting into. I just knew that, it's a pageant. I've heard about pageants. I know that it's judged on, looks, style, how you dress, interaction. I'm like, all right, a lot of this, it connects. And it makes sense for me to do something like this. So I just prepared myself as much as possible. And when I won, it was kind of hard to believe at first, honestly. And some people thought I was sad, but I wasn't. I was kind of in disbelief for a quick second.
Yeah.
But now it's all processing. I feel so amazing. I feel that I've inspired so many people. And that's honestly what I really want to do, is just to inspire people.
So that's nice to hear. So what sort of messages have you been getting from your audience about your win?
So many good ones, honestly. Personally, I haven't gotten any direct messages of any negativity at all.
Wow.
No actual straight. Everything has been positive. The messages to me directly has been positive. I've seen some comments on other posts talking about I shouldn't have won and should have been so and so, and I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's pretty much anybody when they win. You're always gonna have somebody saying the opposite, but for the most part, I've been receiving a lot of love from different countries. A lot of people saying that they can't wait to meet me in Poland. A lot of people saying that I've already set the impressions for, young black men and kids to see how it looks to see someone that looks like them to win something like this and to succeed in life and to, just prosper. So it feels so amazing that people are really, really loving that I won.
So when it was down between you and Mr. Colorado, Elijah Van Zaten, what was going through your head at that moment?
What was going through my head at that very moment? It's so funny. I have the photo in my phone.
Yeah.
Him and I took a photo together on the preliminary judging day. It was when everything was set up and I had this exact shirt on.
Yeah.
It was that day. We took a photo together and I'm like, that's what I was on stage thinking about. I'm like, it really comes down to us two when we took a photo on preliminary judging day. And I'm like, all right, I gotta smash this question. Whatever this question is, I just have to execute it the best way I possibly can, because we are here for a reason. Him and I made it to this top 2 for a reason, and I just gotta do what I have to do. And it turned out the way it turned out, and it was just amazing.
Now that you brought about it, I'm really impressed with the way you answered your questions during your 2 rounds of Q&A. I mean, the first one, you had such an amazing, you showed so much, you gave us a glimpse of your very interesting personality. I mean, you spoke about being a scalp pigmentation artist.
Yes.
Among the other talents that you have as a gifted man. Wow, who wouldn't be impressed with that kind of resume? Wow, there's so many things in your resume worth highlighting, I must say.
I've always lived by the, term. I can say I can group into the Renaissance man kind of thing. A lot of people say, what's the quote? Um, what is it? The master,
Jack of all trades,
jack of all
master
trades,
none.
master of none. But they never finish the entire sentence
Yeah.
because a master of one isn't better than a master of many, or something like that. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure everybody listening will probably correct me. But I've always been very curious, very crafty growing up. Having a lot of siblings, you know, having to do a lot of things with my hands and just trying to figure out so many things. My grandmother used to call me Curious George, because if I seen it, I wanted to know more about it. And I didn't hesitate to try it. And if it didn't work out, I let it go. But if it ran its course, I put my all into it. I studied it, I experimented with it, and if I loved it, if I connected with it, I just kept it going. And I feel a lot of people get caught up with, what's your purpose in life? The way that I view it is, we have many purposes throughout a year. Every purpose will run its course. If it's being a librarian for 5 months, then that's your purpose for that 5-month period. If it's being a race car driver for the next 5 months, that's your next purpose. So I feel that having so many purposes in 1 year will kind of balance and neutralize on how you feel about, you might be 35 years old and you feel like you haven't found your purpose.
Yeah.
Don't feel that way, because you have many purposes throughout a year. So all of those things, I felt like I connected with them for a reason. So when I was so connected, I followed through and I did the best that I could. As far as photography, it stuck around the longest. As you can see today, still a photographer for 13 years. I guess that was just the calling that happened accidentally. And I love it. I share as much knowledge as I can as possible with everybody trying to either do events or portraits or editorial, whatever it is. I learned what I learned just so I can give back. And that's pretty much what it is when it comes to me and all the talents that I can do and things that I'm looking into, the scalp micropigmentation artist stuff. Just got into that, and I just can't wait to see where that leads.
Oh, it's for those, I hope a lot of younger kids could watch this interview, because wow, they can really look up to you as a role model. I mean, it's that in an age where there's just dearth of role models to look up to.
Yes.
Among the crop of celebrities, you are so much refreshing.
Thank you.
Super. Like I'm pretty interested. Like, you spoke about your grandma. I'm interested to get to know about your childhood, how you were reared, because you just have so many talents. Like, yeah, you're a scalp pigmentation artist, and then you're a photographer, a model, and a barber. You just trained yourself to become a barber. So I wonder, how was it like growing up
So
in your childhood years?
despite what a lot of people may not expect, I actually grew up in a very rough environment and equally rough household. My mother had me when she was 15 years old. She had her first when she was 13.
Oh.
She was a baby having babies. And the household that we were pretty much raised in just was toxic. It was a toxic environment to raise any kids whatsoever. And all of the generations above her aunts, my cousins, uncles, aunts and stuff, a lot of them were just, either drug addicts or alcoholics. It was a very terrible environment. And she ended up slipping into that as well. So I don't really remember my mom up into my life until I was about 14 years old or so, because she was in and out of rehab and, still young, still experiencing life. My father wasn't really much around as well, so my grandmother is the one who took custody of me. Once she realized how toxic of an environment that I was being raised in, my mother didn't give her no fuss, no fight. She said, please take him, please raise him for me, because I know you're going to raise him to be an amazing man. Today, here I am because of my grandmother. She pretty much just turned my entire life's path around because of everything that I've seen growing up, everything that I've witnessed and experienced growing up. You wouldn't really want many kids to see that at such a young age. But a lot of that stuff shaped me into who I am today, to understand what it is to, go through, very tragic situations, and to know how to prevail through it. Go through adversity to really understand, what's a hard time, to really just gauge life going ahead, But I have a lot of siblings. I have a lot of love. I was raised on a lot of love. I don't hate my mom and I don't hate my dad for not being there, because I wasn't raised in that light. I feel a lot of kids probably despise their mom or dad for not being there. And I feel that's because the mom injected that into the child's head, or the father injected that into their mom's head, and now they're just not really, why weren't you there, and so on and so forth. I've handled all of that because of my surroundings. My uncles, my aunts, my grandmothers, they're the ones who really, really raised me and shaped my mind into what it is today. So, just a huge, loving, supporting family, despite what we all went through. And today, you would never think that my mom has been through the things that she's been through. Like, she's such an amazing woman. She's very, very ambitious, very creative as well. She can sing. She loves hitting the gym. Like, you would never think that she's been through the things that she's been through. Kind of how some people would look at me and think that I was raised with money, or I come from money. I don't at all, not one bit. And I guess it's just something about our family when it comes to adaptation. We just adapt to anything that goes on in our life, and we come out better than how we entered. And that's my family.
Listening to your story, I love how you never developed some sort of hate, bitterness when you were growing up, as if you're not coming from a place of pittance where everything seems to be so sad and unbearable, but you empowered yourself to rise above the challenges that came your way. So, and as you spoke about your definition of success in the top 5, I now can see where you're coming from. That, what was your answer about it? It was really deep and profound. It really made us think in the audience.
So, I guess to maybe just condense it a bit, it was more so about adaptation. A quote that I really love is, you can be the smartest in the room and you can be the strongest in the room. But the person that adapts to change the fastest is the person that will thrive. Just because you're the smartest doesn't mean you can swim. Just because you're the strongest doesn't mean that you can lift the school bus. It's the person who can adapt. What will you use to lift that school bus versus trying to lift it by hand? It's just all about adaptation, thriving versus surviving. No matter what comes your way, you're going to adapt and you're going to get through it regardless. A lot of people shut down. A lot of people shut down when faced, in adversity, and they don't know how to adapt. And that stops them. That stops them from moving forward. So, me personally, I feel like just a strong sense of adaptation is what's going to get you through anything. No matter what it is, you're going to get through it just because of that sense of adaptation. And me growing up and the things that I've been through, I just feel like that sense of adaptation is going to be there regardless.
I'm really impressed by your maturity, and I think that's the reason why you won. Your maturity, your wisdom, apart from your confidence and physicality. And it's just so refreshing to hear someone talk about another definition of success without relating it to money. Because let's face it, when we talk about success, most people would usually equate it with your bank account, with the amount of money that you have in your bank account. So it's just, I was just wondering if your idea of success is also the same idea of success that your parents have, or probably they have instilled in you.
I would say it's a mindset that I kind of figured for myself, through the things that I read and, podcasts that I may listen to. It's kind of like just combining so many different intellects, so many different minds, and then you come up with your own perspective of something that resonates with you. So, most people may say, money can buy happiness. I would say, to an extent, it's true. To an extent, it's true because, just like we may have internal issues, we also have external issues. And money can deal with a lot of those external issues, whether it's catching up, paying rent, being able to provide for your family, your loved ones. Money can handle a lot of that external stuff. But internally, money can't touch that. Money cannot touch that.
So,
and I do know that handling the external can help within, but only to an extent. Because if you're not happy with yourself, that money isn't going to do anything.
So, Money can't buy happiness.
Yes. And just to touch back on the whole success thing, it's beyond what we marvel people doing or how they're dressing or what they're doing in life. Success is, like I said, it's within, it's internal. Success is managing your health, being successful in your health, following up, getting your appointments, dental, your physicals, your everything you have to do to stay in tune with yourself. Your family, stay close to your loved ones. That's success in family. Success in love, whether you're single or in a relationship, no matter what kind of ship it is, make sure that you're doing everything to maintain its, health. The toxicity is, unnecessary. Stay closer to your loved ones. And in your career, the things that you love doing, stay connected to it. And whatever it is you're doing in life, do it well. That's the most important. Success is much further than just what we marvel, seeing people doing and dressing nice, and you never know what somebody's going through. They might look the part, but you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
So I feel like having a lot of that settled within will bring you much more success.
So yeah, success is all about nurturing relationships with your family and contentment. That's what I'm getting from
Yes,
you.
exactly.
And now that you talk more about your personal definition of success, I can't wait for what you have in store for us for your entire reign throughout the year.
Yes.
So as early as now, can you share a little of your vision in terms of how you would want to carry it for the rest of your reign?
So for the rest of my reign, I really just can't wait to connect with everyone back in my hometown and, share this experience with my neighborhood as a whole. A lot of people that I grew up with were kind of derailed because of the environment we grew up in. And I understand. I've been there, and when I go back home, I'm reminded of all of that, and it kind of saddens me to see some of the guys and women that I grew up with just kind of lost, and I feel that they need somebody to inspire them, speak to them, to see like, yo, we grew up in the same neighborhood, we pretty much been through the same stuff. What did you do to get to your point? What did you do to get to the point that you're at today? And I just want to speak with them. I just really want to speak with them. Being able to provide that inspiration, the experience, just everything that I did to get to this point, I've been impressing myself. And the more that I'm able to do for myself, the more that I'm able to do for my loved ones, the more that I'm able to do for my family, the more that I'm able to give back. And I cried on the phone with my mom the other day because I'm happy that she was present and sober to be able to take this in with me. And I don't cry. It's really hard for me to cry, and I don't know why. And I thought that it was because of everything I've been through. It just kind of numbed me and just deleted crying out of my body like, I've been through worse, I'm fine. And I didn't like that feeling because I know how purifying crying can be. I understand it. Very well aware of it. But that day on the stage was the first time I cried in a very long time. And then the day after, spoke with my mom, and I just told her how proud of her I was. Like, this wasn't even about me at this point. It was just me being so happy that she was present with me and able to embrace that moment with me. I never cried to my mom in my life up until yesterday. I mean, maybe when I was a kid, but of course. But as an adult, like, I've never cried to my mom before, ever.
But also as a pageant analyst, it also resonated. Your win resonated so much to us because inheriting your title from Felix Martin, who's also a man of color, really speaks so much volume of how much the United States has really come far in terms of bringing diversity and inclusivity to the table. And I'm really excited of how you will forge your narrative here in Mr. Supranational.
It was such an honor to be sashed by him. Like, when he hugged me, I just started bawling. My eyes were oh man. I couldn't hold it in because when I met him that Wednesday, we all went out for dinner. He was speaking to the guys at the table, And I didn't know who he was at first. I just seen another guy that I didn't recognize speaking to everyone at the table, and then I just stepped in and introduced myself. I'm like, oh, okay, everybody's having a little, conversation about stuff. I want to join in. So he introduced himself to me, and then the little talent portion started up. And then we were just chit-chatting a little bit, and I was like, so you were the previous year's Mr. Supranational, huh? And he was like, yeah, man. I forgot what else he said after that, but I was like, man, I intend to keep it black.
And it happened.
It's so crazy.
So have you gotten in touch with him since winning?
Yes, I have. We actually tried to connect that night that I won, but it was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
It was a lot going on.
Because you had to give so much press interviews.
He said he's going to give me a lot more insight on what I will be getting into, what should I expect, and just how to just sharpen myself in certain areas, because there's always a next level. No matter how good you are, the biggest room in the world is the room for improvement.
So we're down to my last few questions. Now that you are the title holder for USA, how are you planning your strategy for the upcoming international competition?
So, the easiest strategy is just remaining authentic to myself. The easiest strategy. I hear that some people peak too soon, and I feel that the people who peak too soon are the people who aren't authentic to who they are. If you're not the most sociable person, it might be tough, because you're gonna shoot out the gate too strong. You're probably gonna come on too strong to people. You know what I mean? I feel that my career has shaped me into somebody who can deal with any kind of personality. Being a photographer, especially starting off in nightclub photography, I have to deal with numerous personalities, and stay poised at that, stay professional at that, stay personable at that. I don't want to be the photographer people speaks bad on. I don't want to be the photographer people don't remember. I want to be the photographer people will remember in a good way, like making a good impression, connecting with me, speaking with me, teaching me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm so good with people. I wouldn't say I'm a people's person, but I'm great with people when I need to be. I feel that just, like I said earlier, just remaining authentic to who I am. No matter what the crowd is looking like, no matter what I'm up against, I am just going to remain who I am, just how I did this last week for that entire week of meeting everybody. I just kind of felt it was just so organic. Nothing was forced. No weird energy was exchanged with anybody. I get that when competition gets bigger, there will be people, with a chip on their shoulder. I get it. But like I said, I know how to handle no matter what kind of person I come across.
And even the pressure.
Yes, authenticity goes a long way. Goes a very long way. The fitness, the health, all of that stuff, I have a very strong sense of discipline, so I have no doubt in my mind that I'm going to be ready in all those. Speaking, I'm going to sharpen myself in that. I'm just going to kind of rehearse questions like talents and what I want to do with my life and career goals, and just kind of rehearsing certain stuff that I feel that would be asked, just so that it's natural and easy to, explain or express,
So there's no doubt that you certainly carry the United States of America's flag with flying colors in the upcoming competition. We can't wait for you to really slay the competition as early as now. For sure you have something up your sleeves for next month. So that's my last question. Why should you be the next Mr. Supranational?
Why should I be the next Mr. Super International? I should be the next Mr. Super International because, one, we need more diversity in that category. I've seen the lineup, and out of 40 men, there's only 3 black men. And I'm like, all right, I'm here to inspire. I'm here to show the world, black men, black women, black kids, black boys and girls, that we can too succeed in stuff like this. We can do this, and we need to see more of people that look like us so that they're more inspired to do it as well. Not seeing many role models that look like you makes it hard for you to imagine that, to envision it, and being able to think that it's possible for me too. But without that, you don't really feel like it's possible for you too, because it doesn't look like it's for you. So that right there, this is why I should definitely be the next one, upon inspiration, of course. But just me being who I am, authentic, I'm professional, I am easy to work with, I'm a gentleman, I have a great sense of style in class, I'm a mentor, I give back to my community, I'm a big family man, I'm just well-rounded, and I'm not even going to, I'm not gonna
Sell yourself short.
Sell
in the
myself short,
in the
exactly.
competition.
Like I'm him, and
Yeah.
I deserve it. The things I've been through in life, and as much as I've worked for everything, I have, this is definitely the biggest win that I've ever had in my life up to this day. No matter how hard I prepared for something in the past, disciplined myself in the past, I always came up short, and I never understood why. I'm like, I worked harder than everybody here. How did I not win this? And that's why I was kind of in disbelief when I won, because I'm just so used to losing, and it sucks to even feel that way. Who wants to feel like that? I work hard. I discipline myself like none other. I have no problem with committing myself to something that's bigger than me. No problem at all. So that is why I should win, is because I am him in every single way possible. I am him.
On that note, thank you so much, Keith, for
Thank you.
sharing your wisdom and maturity in this interview. No words. I'm really blown away by the maturity, finesse that you are displaying to us right now. There's no doubt that the
Thank you.
international organizers will truly appreciate for the totality and showmanship with the way you have been showcasing yourself in the competition. Good luck in the upcoming competition,
Thank
and
you
we
so
can't wait
much.
for you to really slay it in
Thank you.
Poland this coming
Thank
July.
you so much.
Thank you so much again.
I
So
can't
there
wait, I
ends
can't
it.
wait.
Maraming salamat.
Yes.
Thank you so much for gracing
Yes.
this interview,
For
and
sure.
good luck.
Thank you so much.
Take care. And that's it, guys. I hope you had fun listening to our interview and getting to know the newly crowned Mr. Supranational USA.
Yes.
Until my next video, bye!
Bye.